There is a term in video games which I don't particularly like, and that term is walking simulator. Now that term can apply to many games like Gone Home, Firewatch, What Remains of Edith Finch, even Dear Esther, the 2012 game by the Chinese Room, but for me, that phrase needs to change. Hi, welcome to Liam Lives On Reviews, and today we are talking about Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Now, picture this. It's 1984. You stand upon a hill with an observatory looking down on you. You are in Yorton, a fictional village in the English county of Shropshire. There is no one to be heard or seen. The only noise is the ambient sounds of the local wildlife, foliage, and the repetitious numbers playing on the radio. The only entity that seems to be alive is a ball of light doing very unnatural things. What is this glowing orb? Where has everyone gone? Why are there numbers playing on the radio? These are the first questions you will have when entering the world of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Straight away you see how beautiful this game is. The Chinese studio has brilliantly made this little slice of Western England for you to explore. From the pub, community hall and the church in the main village, to the fields of Appleton's farm and the caravan park of Lakeside, each location shows a uniqueness that adds to the story it's telling. As you walk peacefully around, noticing all the phone and post boxes, the calm ponds and streams, and the beautiful architecture of some of the buildings, there is also an eeriness to it. One of the things you'll notice more than anything is all the dead birds lining the streets and the bloody tissues littering the way from place to place. The weather also changes as you progress, seemingly getting darker as you discover more of what the story is. So, what is the story? Well, that's a complicated question. While I will be avoiding all endgame spoilers, and I will not be showing any of the gameplay from the last two segments, I will be covering some of the smaller, less significant stories of the townspeople we are not so closely following. But what has happened? Everyone has disappeared. This is the essence of the main story, trying to solve this mystery. Is this an act from God? A medical pandemic? The work of Thanos? While this may be the main story of sorts, to me, it's the least interesting aspect. What is far more captivating is learning about everyone in the village. You see, there is an odd orb of light floating around. You can hear voices within it if you get close enough. But one other thing that it does leave is these, let's call them echoes. Memories in light. You get to see and hear the interactions of villagers through these echoes, and this is how you will find out most of the information about our characters. Their loves, regrets, people who they respect or hate, their sad histories or their hopes for the future. These echoes are all tied to places that they were formed, and with this being an open world, it is your job to work out when and how all of these things are related. As I said, the story is split into segments, 6 to be precise, where you follow the movements of some of the main villagers, each being a main protagonist of sorts in specific areas. We start off with Father Jeremy in the main village. Later we follow Lizzie, who runs the Lakeside Holiday Park. But Jeremy will still turn up in the holiday park, and Lizzie will be introduced into our story in the main village. Everyone is connected in some way or another, and it's our job as the player to work out how. We are a fly on the wall, peering into snippets of these people's lives. Maybe we are listening to the person first reporting a missing resident, and the world seems normal at the time, or maybe we are witnessing someone watching the person they love disappear in front of them. Okay, slight story spoiler, but what I'm about to talk about happens within the first 2 story segments, but if I've piqued your interest in Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, skip to the time below when I'll be finished talking about this particular storyline. One of the first echoes we find is that of Father Jeremy walking into a house and finding Amanda sitting on a sofa. She was going to leave town and go to Wales with her husband and 2 children before the quarantine began. However, her children started complaining about headaches, their noses started bleeding, so she walked them into a neighbour's house with the door open. Her husband took her children to lie down upstairs, and after hours has still not come back down. You see, we meet Amanda at the end of her story, but we'll find her later chatting nervously with a friend about the outbreak while her children play in the park, and again later packing the car to take her family away. The stories are not spelt out for you. It's your job to explore, to work out what happened in the last weeks of their lives. Whether it's the mundane, like our introduction to Terry and June looking for their dog, or to the extreme, like our introduction to Diane and Sean, who've just had a traffic accident and might be leaving someone to die stuck in a truck at the bottom of a ditch. We follow these stories, becoming attached to these characters who we never even see the faces of. That we already know their endings. Even if we are not sure how or why, there is a profound sense of sadness enveloping this entire town. But from this sadness there is beauty. I have already mentioned how gorgeous I find this game, but I would be failing myself if I didn't mention how well designed the echoes of Liquid are. They show so much detail while also showing the bare minimum. The smoke off a lit cigarette, the shot of a rifle, the hit of a tennis ball. These, along with the beautiful orchestral score, bring some of the well-needed warmth into this dark story. In my mind, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is brilliant, emotional, and in a strange way comforting, like being wrapped in your favourite blanket while looking out in the pouring rain. And this is why I hate the term walking simulator. Not just for this game, but for all of the games of this style. They are so much more than that. I see them more like explorable audio adventures or puzzles. The term walking simulator can walk itself out the door and leave me and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture in peace. So that's it. That's my first video done. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching until this point. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm a real YouTuber now. My plan is to bring more content like this to you. Discussions and reviews about different video games and movies that are coming out. And I really hope that you'll join me on this journey. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.